People describe quinoa as a kind of a healthier rice. And if that's all this is, then this is going to be a really short episode. So instead of asking whether it's healthy, I'm going to ask a different question. What does quinoa actually do? And does the way that we cook it change that answer? Hi, I'm Chris. I'm a medium level cook with a rare level of curiosity. This is Rarely Well Done, where we figure out what ingredients actually do and how they can help your cooking.
These tiny little balls are the seeds of the quinoa plant. They're usually treated like a grain, but I'm more interested in what it actually does in food. Also, despite its spelling, it is not pronounced quinoa. Added to the list of words you have to pronounce differently when you're spelling them. Quinoa is perfect for a Wednesday afternoon in February, maybe as a horse do-over. Feel free to invent your own spelling in the comments. I decided to rinse here per package directions so that I could observe the water, which was disappointingly cloudy. You'll probably want to use a fine mesh strainer for this, but yeah, definitely rinse. Now, what is quinoa naturally bringing? Now, cooking by the directions, the package calls for a 2-to-1 ratio of water to quinoa, and about 12 minutes until the seeds look about like this. Again, this is the simplest possible by-the-book preparation so that I can get a baseline for what's to come.
All right, not a lot of flavor there, but there's something. There's a little bit of flavor. It's a little bit on the nutty side, a little earthy maybe, but it's very subtle. I feel like you could just make this taste like whatever you wanted to by whatever you add to it, which that's pretty good. That seems like a good use case for quinoa anyway. Quinoa, I did it myself.
Quinoa. I'll get there eventually. If this is quinoa at its most ordinary, can we improve it just by changing how we cook it? Well, I'm going to toast a freshly rinsed batch of quinoa in a saucepan to add aroma. Now, while the normal stuff smells light and weedy, this develops a nuttiness and an earthiness. I'll save that for another experiment in a moment. But first, can we cook it like pasta? I'm not going to measure the water here, and I'll let the quinoa take what it wants. I'm adding salt, but otherwise it's an identical amount of rinsed quinoa. Now, did it make a measurable difference? Well, not at first.
Maybe a little fluffier?
The grains didn't look much different for sure, but when I picked up the original to try them back to back, my tongue could tell the difference.
The one cooked with the absorption method definitely has a little more bite to it. There's still some substance to it. While the pasta method one is a little bit fluffier. It's hard to see on camera. But I think I probably prefer this one just a hair more. That'd be the pasta method.
The extra water allows it to expand out more. Practically, if your quinoa is going in a soup, chili, casserole, or a taco filling where you want it to blend in, it's probably best to cook it like pasta. If you want quinoa to be the star of what you're eating, I'd probably stick with the traditional method. It's not a strong difference, so do what you like. But if cooking changes the texture, does the type of quinoa matter as well? I got a bag of the tricolor quinoa, which uses 3 different varieties of the seed with minor variances in both color and texture. Is one better than the other? I don't want to turn this into a head-to-head fight, but there's clearly a rivalry here. Fight. From a visual standpoint, tricolor definitely looks more interesting. The red and black versions tend to be firmer. Will that make a difference? Again, I'll take the same amount of quinoa as before and rinse it with the fine mesh strainer. If you don't have one, I've put a link in the description to one you can pick up to support the channel. You'll notice as the water runs through the quinoa, it begins to clump and leave trails. Feel free to use this knowledge to make a smiley face or other art of your choice. I'll cook this according to the pasta method from before. You can see it creates the same volume of quinoa, but it's much more colorful for applications like a grain salad, where the appearance of the quinoa is part of the appeal. So how does it taste?
Yeah, it's got a different kind of bite, a little chew to it that's almost a crunchiness like sunflower seeds or something.
There we have it. This experiment revealed a colonel of truth after all. The blends add color and a slightly firmer bite and texture compared to basic white quinoa. But what kinds of dishes could we use this for? Well, I'm going to pull out the vegetable broth I made in the leek video way back in episode 3 of this channel. The broth has some flavor, but what it's missing is substance. That might just be a job for quinoa. I'm adding our toasted quinoa from earlier straight to the broth to absorb. Now, cooking in broth is always an option if you're using the quinoa in something else and you want extra flavor, but here I just want to add substance to a simple soup. Now, quinoa has a strong reputation for its healthiness. It's a source of protein if you're plant-based and contains more nutrients than most grains. But for us non-vegans, well, it's a tool that's perfect where texture is missing.
thought it might be kind of weird because the texture's strange. Maybe it's not ideal for a soup, but as this, it actually works fairly well. So it's got some body and chew, so it doesn't feel like I'm eating a plain broth. I've got substance.
That means we can use it to bulk up taco meat, burgers, meatloaf, stuffed peppers, salads, casseroles, soups, and more. You could substitute it in instead of rice in dishes like burrito bowls or curries. If the flavor's already there, but it feels like it could use a little more body and texture, that's your clue to reach for quinoa. Or you could just eat it with some Worcestershire.
So quinoa isn't just a healthier rice. It's a good way to add body and chew without taking over the whole dish. So next time your food feels thin or insubstantial, that's your clue. Quinoa might be the answer. I hope I've encouraged you to try something new. Now it's your turn. Go fix something.